Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and welcome to March Madness 2025. This year I am focusing on Disney, so I decided to bring out my Simple Stories Say Cheese Main Street for my very first layout. All of the sketches this year will be from page maps. Today's sketch comes from November 2021. When I first started out with this layout, I decided to pull out these two pieces of paper as my main paper, the blue with the floral, as well as the striped paper from the collection. I wanted to focus on some pinks because this layout is going to be about me, so I was able to find some pink 6x6 paper from Echo Park. And I really thought that I could make it work. And I struggle a lot to try to make it work. The papers are just not long enough, and I truly do need a 12x12 sheet of paper. I thought maybe I could try to cover up the gap with the photos, but it just wasn't going to work with the sketch. I knew I was going to be adding an additional photo on the far right hand side, but no matter how I configured it, it just did not work. So I went back to the drawing board, and I did do this off camera, but I decided that I was going to use a pink background instead, and then I would pull out my doodlebug paper in the bumblebee since there is some yellow in those florals. I started to look through some of the scraps that I had, trying to decide which paper I wanted to use. I really liked this tone-on-tone polka dots, and I also liked this white paper that had the yellow polka dots on it, but I ended up settling for the tone-on-tone polka dots. You can't really see it very well in the video, but you will definitely be able to see it in the close-ups at the end. So the premise of this sketch is basically a pattern paper in the center, and then you have the strip of paper on the edge of either side of it. It does call for 3 portrait-sized photos and 1 landscape photo, but I decided that I was going to go ahead and add a second photo over on the right because I just could not narrow these photos down any further than they already were. I am going to cut down the floral paper since you're only going to see it on the top and bottom of my photos, so there was no reason to waste the paper behind my photos. I absolutely love these photos. When I go to Disney, a lot of times I prefer to go by myself because there's some things that I am willing to do that I know that other people are not. This particular day, we were actually celebrating my mom's birthday, and after we had dinner, everybody was ready to go home. I asked my mom if she was willing to take Eli with her because I wanted to stay for a few more hours. I had this idea and I was hoping that I would be able to pull it off, and man, did I. After we had dinner, I walked around and there was a couple of rides that I wanted to do, but my ultimate goal was to get in line for Tron right at closing. So I rode Buzz Lightyear like 6 times because there was no waiting, right up until about 10:55. And then I raced over to Tron. I got in line for Tron right at closing. And as long as you're in line before closing, they will allow you to ride. The posted wait time was 75 minutes. However, I was able to get through the ride in about 40 minutes. That put me on Main Street just about an hour after the park closed, which means that there were not a lot of people on Main Street. And if you look very closely in these photos, there is absolutely no one behind me in these photos. I waited in line. I was very friendly with the cast members, and I asked her if she was willing to take some silly photos of me sitting on the ground, laying on my belly, just really enjoying the fact that I am in front of the castle with absolutely nobody else. Now, I would say that there was probably 200 or 300 people at Disney at that time. People were still in the shops. People were still walking down Main Street. There were a couple times that she told me to wait so that people who were walking by were out of my shot. So it wasn't like I was the only person there, but these photos tell the story like I am the only person at Magic Kingdom, and I absolutely love it. So I knew that those were the photos that I wanted to use for the very first day of March Madness. This month, I am going to be giving you guys a layout a day. That means that every single day in March, you will have a video from me. And the bonus specialty of this March Madness is that every single one of these layouts in March are going to be Disney themed. Now, I will be using a combination of Simple Stories, Echo Park, lots of Kelly Bell designs since I am on their creative team, and I have lots of ideas that I want to share with you guys. But I am so excited to not only be presenting you guys with a video a day, but also being able to get 31, that's right, 31 Disney layouts completed. And I have so many Disney photos that I didn't even put a dent in the amount of photos that I need to document from being a pass holder for the last 6 years. So now that I have the paper down, which it did take me a little bit to get a majority of that paper down, but I was able to get down the floral paper, I got my photos down, I also got the Doodlebug yellow paper down, and then I'm adding that strip of striped paper down at the bottom. I did pull out my scalloped border punch, which it has taken me a while to find a simple scallop border punch. I have a couple other ones that are a little bit fancy, but I haven't ever been able to find one that I didn't have to pay full price for. But I finally bit the bullet, and paying $18 for a border punch, it almost killed me. But I knew that I needed a plain scallop border punch, and I had looked for quite a while before I finally gave in and just decided to pay full price for it. And I'm really glad that I did, because I do like that simplicity of a simple scallop every once in a while. Don't get me wrong, I do like my fancy ones too, but sometimes you just need a simple one. I decided to add the red paper at the top. I did pull that from the 6x8 paper pad, so I only had 8 inches to work on both sides, but I knew that I would be able to cover up that hard stop, especially on the right-hand side, with an embellishment cluster. It doesn't look so bad on the left because it kind of ends where the photos end. I also decided that I wasn't really liking that striped paper right against the polka dotted paper, so I added a very, very thin strip of the red paper on the bottom just to give it a little bit of separation. I did do my stitching offline. I actually didn't even poke my holes or anything on video, but I did slow the video down here so that you can see where I added the stitching. I just added a row of the red stitching on the top and bottom. For my title, I decided to turn to Kelly Bell Designs. This particular design comes from My Happy Place word Flair, and I will link it below. I decided to make my own kind of title by pulling the clouds and the castle from the mini kit. I merged them all together in silhouette and then printed out additional images of the clouds as well as the title part of When You Wish Upon a Star. Now, there are lots of things that I am learning about using digital collections on your traditional scrapbooks. And I have already started a list of things that I plan to show you guys in the Silhouette software on how to create things like this. While the Wish Upon a Star was a part of the word Flair, I did add the other pieces together. By adding the clouds as well as the word Flair, it really makes this title piece pop. I think that's one of the most awesome things that I'm learning about digital content is the possibilities are endless. It does take a little bit of time to try to figure it out. I have made lots of mistakes already, but the end result is absolutely 100% worth it, at least in my opinion. And so hopefully this month I will be able to show you guys some of the things that I'm learning myself in ways to create things in the Silhouette for your traditional scrapbooks. I also do not have a wide format printer. I only have an 8.5 by 11 printer. And I plan to show you throughout the month of March all of the different ways that you can use your regular size printer to create double page layouts. Some of them are probably techniques that you guys have tried before by using 6x6 paper pads. Some of them might be something new that you learn. One of the things that I have struggled about in regards to creating my Disney layouts is the collections that are available to us as scrapbookers. Turning to digital content has opened up the possibility of creating so much more. There are a ton of traditional Disney color layouts. Black, red, yellow, I can find that anywhere. But when I'm looking for something a little more, that's just not always available. So I'm excited to be getting lots of Disney layouts done this month. And I think that the ones that I have planned out are going to be a little bit different than maybe the ones that you guys have seen from other content creators, just simply because I'm a pass holder and I don't have what you would consider to be traditional photos of somebody who is visiting Disney. All right, so I got the title down over on the far left-hand side. I also added some fireworks behind the castle because that's just what I always think about. Over on the far right-hand side, I started to build up that cluster. I have a little tag where I decided that I was going to go ahead and add a lot of pink distress ink to it because I wanted to really bring in that pinkness. I also added some balloons as well as one of the stickers from the sticker books. I did decide to put that up on Fun Foam because those sticker book stickers are so thin that I wanted to give it a little bit of dimension. I had added one firework from the foam stickers and the rest of them came from the sticker sheet or from the sticker book, and I felt like it was sticking out. So I did decide to take that particular firework up and added another firework from the sticker sheet. I also did not like the saying that was on the sticker on the far right, so I decided to pull out one of the word phrases that says photo op, and I just covered up the phrase that was written on there. Over on the left-hand side underneath my photos, I also started a cluster there with a camera as well as a heart cluster and a tag that says totally worth the wait, because these photos were absolutely worth the wait. I also added a little banner down at the bottom on the right-hand side that says happy. I love that photo of me on the bottom where I'm laying on my belly. I've got my legs propped up. I have my hand under my chin, and it's just a really cute photo of me. It was a cooler day, so I have my mini jacket on, and then I have my Disney 100 ears, and I just love all of these photos, but that's probably my favorite. I decided to add a black puffy heart to the left-hand cluster, and then I really wanted to beef up the cluster on the right-hand side. I did pull out another camera from the chipboard pieces. That little circle with the florals on it comes from the sticker book. Again, those are super flat. I also added a Mickey head, and I had him sticking out beneath the photo. And then I added another puffy sticker, which is also a floral. Up at the top, I thought I would go ahead and add another floral puffy just to kind of tie the puffy stickers into each one of the clusters. And then I pulled out the adhesive brads and added one to each one of the clusters as well. And I did put some liquid adhesive on the backs of my puffy stickers as well as my adhesive brads. And then I'm just adding some liquid adhesive around the layout. I had some pieces that were just not sticking down well, so went ahead and added those. And then that is it for this video. Here is my final layout as well as some close-ups. I did do my journaling offline, and it says, I decided to get in line for Tron right at closing. Although the posted wait time was 75 minutes, I only waited 40. This timing allowed me to be on Main Street nearly an hour after the park closed, giving me the opportunity to get these amazing photos in front of the castle with no one else in sight. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.